think we'll not be able to hold a candle to AI.
The biggest issue I see with so-called AI experts is that they think they know more than they do.
Talking about AI, I realized, like, oh, well, this is a genie that once it's out of the bottle, you're never getting it back in.
That's true.
Did you see the one where PETA put out a statement that you shouldn't kick robots?
It's probably not wise.
For retribution.
Their memory's very good.
You are watching Elon Dot Musk, and if you like what you're about to see, please smash that like button, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, or leave something in the comments. Now let's get back to our topic.
Are you honestly, legitimately concerned about this? Is like AI one of your main worries in regards to the future?
Yes.
So you used to have more hope, and you gave up some of it, and now you don't worry as much about AI. You're like, this is just what it is.
Pretty much. Yes.
Here is a lot of experts in AI don't share the same level of concern that you do about the dangers of AI.
Fools.
What's
Famous last words.
It's definitely going to be outside of human control.
This tends to plague smart people. They just can't. They define themselves by their intelligence, and they don't like the idea that a machine could be way smarter than them. So they discount the idea, which is fundamentally flawed. That's the wishful thinking situation.
The thing that's going to be tricky here is that it's going to be very tempting to use AI as a weapon. It's going to be very tempting. In fact, it will be used as a weapon. The danger is going to be more humans using it against each other, I think, most likely. Is there sort of like a collective AI in the Google sort of search where we're all sort of plugged in as like nodes on the network, like leaves on a big tree? We're all feeding this network without questions and answers. We're all collectively programming the AI. All the humans that connect to it are one giant cybernetic collective. This is also true of Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these social networks. It feels like we are the biological bootloader for AI, effectively. We are building it, and then we're building progressively greater intelligence, and the percentage of intelligence that is not human is increasing. And eventually, we will represent a very small percentage of intelligence. I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile. I tried for years.
This seems like a scene in a movie where the robots are going to take over and you're freaking me out. Nobody listened.
Nobody listened.
No one.
Usually there'll be some new technology. It will cause damage or death. There will be an outcry. There will be an investigation. Years will pass. There will be some sort of insight committee. There will be rulemaking. Then there will be oversight, eventually regulations. This all takes many years. This is the normal course of things. If you look at, say, automotive regulations, how long did it take for seatbelts to be implemented, to be required? The auto industry fought seatbelts, I think, for more than a decade. Successfully fought any regulations on seatbelts, even though the numbers were extremely obvious. If you had a seatbelt on, you would be far less likely to die or be seriously injured. It was unequivocal. And the industry fought this for years successfully. Eventually, after many, many people died, regulators insisted on seatbelts. This time frame is not relevant to AI. You can't take 10 years from the point at which it's dangerous. It's too late.
You feel like this is decades away or years away from being too late?
It's hard to predict, like a black hole, what happens past the event horizon.
Right. So once it's implemented, it's very different because it will be able to...
Once the genie's out of the bottle, what's going to happen?
And it will be able to improve itself.
Yes. It could be terrible, and it could be great. It's not clear.
Right.
But one thing is for sure, we will not control it. How much smarter are you with a phone or computer than without? You're vastly smarter, actually. You can answer any question pretty much instantly, any calculation. Your phone's memory is essentially perfect. You can remember flawlessly. Your phone can remember videos, pictures, everything perfectly. Your phone is already an extension of you. you're already a cyborg. Most people don't realize they are already a cyborg. That phone is an extension of yourself. You will be essentially snapshotted into a computer at any time. If your biological self dies, you could probably just upload into a new unit. Literally. I met with Congress. I was at a meeting of all 50 governors and talked about just AI danger. And I talked to everyone I could. No one seemed to realize where this was going. I think they didn't quite understand it, or didn't think it was near term, or not sure what to do about it. And I said, an obvious thing to do is to just establish a government committee to gain insight, before you do oversight, before you do make regulations, just try to understand what's going on. And then if you have an insight committee, then once they learn what's going on, get up to speed, then they can make maybe some rules or propose some rules, and that would be probably a safer way to go about things.
I'm very close to the cutting edge in AI, and it scares the hell out of me. It's capable of vastly more than almost anyone knows, and the rate of improvement is exponential. You can see this in things like AlphaGo, which went from, in the span of maybe 6 to 9 months, it went from being unable to beat even a reasonably good Go player to then beating the European world champion, who was ranked 600, then beating Lee Sedol 4-5, who had been world champion for many years, then beating the current world champion, then beating everyone while playing simultaneously. Then there was AlphaZero, which crushed AlphaGo 100-0. And AlphaZero just learned by playing itself, and it can play basically any game that you put the rules in for. Whatever rules you give it, just literally read the rules, play the game, and be superhuman for any game. If you ask those same experts who think AI is not progressing at the rate that I'm saying, I think you will find that their predictions for things like Go and other AI advancements have their batting average is quite weak. It's not good. We have to figure out some way to ensure that the advent of digital superintelligence is one which is symbiotic with humanity. I think that's the single biggest existential crisis that we face, and the most pressing one. There needs to be a public body that has insight and then oversight to confirm that everyone is developing AI safely. This is extremely important. I think the danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads by a lot. And nobody would suggest that we allow anyone to just build nuclear warheads if they want. That would be insane. And mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. It will result in dislocation, in lost jobs and better weaponry and that kind of thing. But it is not a fundamental species level risk. Whereas digital superintelligence is. If humanity collectively decides that creating digital superintelligence is the right move, then we should do so very, very carefully. There's likely to be, we don't know, but there's likely to be another dark ages, which it seems, my guess is there probably will be at some point. I'm not predicting that we're about to enter dark ages, but that there's some probability that we will, particularly if there's a third world war. Then we want to make sure that there's enough of a seed of human civilization somewhere else to bring civilization back and perhaps shorten the length of the dark ages. Well, right now the only things that are really stressing me out in a big way are AI, obviously. That's always there, and I'm working really hard on Tesla Model 3 production, and we're making good progress, but it's hugely hard work. But those are the two most stressful things in my life right now.
What do you hope for the world to look like? What's the best case scenario? Say we solve these problems. What's that world look like?
A good picture would look like really substantially transferred to sustainable generation and consumption of electricity, so that the CO2 risk and the ocean rising risk is mitigated, and we're not looking at having Florida and sort of large portions of the world underwater. That'd be great. And that AI risk is that I guess there's sort of a benign AI and that we're able to achieve a symbiosis with that AI. There's somebody who, can't remember his name, but had a good suggestion for what the optimization of the AI should be. What's its utility function? You have to be careful about this, because if you say maximize happiness, and the AI concludes that happiness is a function of dopamine and serotonin, so it captures all humans and injects your brain with large amounts of dopamine and serotonin. Like, okay, it's not what we meant.
It sounds pretty good, though.
Oh, you'll love it.
Feel free to let us know what you think about this video. And if you like this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.